going on, everybody? Welcome to the Wolfpack Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host, Dylan Clemens. Here with me, as always, are my two co-hosts and two best friends, Michael Plant and Ike Bonnie. What's up, guys?
Oh, come on. You got to have a little bit more enthusiasm than that. You sound like the radio host from Parks and Rec.
Never seen that show.
Ike's seen that show. He knows that reference.
I do.
Would you agree with him, Mike? That's who I sounded like, or what?
No.
Very monotone.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But how's everyone's week? Before we jump into this stuff, y'all have good weeks?
Yeah,
actually, fine. No, work was shit, but that's just my life. Let's move on to football.
All right, sounds good. Let's before we get started though, I'm gonna remind you guys to please subscribe and follow us on YouTube at the Fantasy Six Pack YouTube channel. And please like and subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, wherever you can find us. And if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you get entered to win this Jerry Jeudy signed helmet still that it feels like we've been giving away for 9 weeks.
For some reason, we lost some subscribers. I mean, it happens, but
probably because it's been like a month since
we're asking for 425. It's not that big of a deal. It's like 20 more subscribers. Come on, guys.
Hopefully, we could pull that next week. But yeah, let's jump into the Thursday night recap. Wasn't much of a game, but some points were definitely scored. The Colts beat the Jets 45-30. Unfortunately, we all came to watch Mike White, and we didn't get to watch him because
we got to see a little bit of him, and he actually looked pretty good for that stretch.
We got to see 2 drives of him. He finished 7 of 11 for 95 yards and a touchdown, but injured his forearm on the touchdown throw that he threw, which totally sucks. But
it was a beautiful throw.
Yes, it was. Josh Johnson came in for relief for him. He was 27 of 41 for 317. 3 touchdowns and a pick for 25.5 fantasy points. So it was ended up being a solid day for Josh Johnson, but it was all in garbage time. The Colts handled this game.
Jonathan Taylor did.
It's funny how, better these backup quarterbacks look than Zach Wilson on the Jets. I mean, Zach Wilson on the year has 4 passing touchdowns. Mike White has 5. And now Josh Johnson has 3.
That's brutal.
It is brutal. It's not looking good for Zach Wilson, but I mean, he's the number 2 overall pick.
I think we'll get there, guys. With him, he'll be all right. Just got to give him a little more time. We all knew that he was raw coming into it. Yeah,
but I mean, the statistics say he's the most pressured quarterback in NFL right now. So I mean, no wonder why it's hard to bring a franchise like the Jets out of the dirt with that.
Agreed. Mm-hmm. Kind of the biggest disappointment from a fantasy standpoint was Michael Carter. I mean, he didn't have an awful game, finished with 8.5 fantasy points, 13 attempts for 49 yards. The alarming thing was he saw 14 targets in the win against Cincinnati. And then this game, guys, he comes back and sees 2. It obviously had something to do with Mike White going out.
Yeah, I mean, apparently Josh Johnson didn't get the memo that you can check down in this offense, and it works just as fine.
Elijah Moore looked good, though.
Yeah, he did. He definitely the talent seemed to finally show, considering the quarterback that was throwing him the ball.
Yeah, he was definitely looked quick.
Mostly garbage time, though. If not all garbage time.
No, he caught the first touchdown.
Yeah.
So when they
when they were down 10-0.
No, they tied it up 7-7, man.
Oh, touche. It was still down 0-7.
Yeah. That's because they stink.
Yeah, like I said, Jonathan Taylor just killed them.
Yeah, like we said, Elijah Moore led the team in receptions and targets, 84 yards, and had 2 touchdowns. So he had a big fantasy day. Jamison Crowder, who some of you might have started. I know one guy in here started him in our home league.
Yeah, a little
bit of disappointment. 5 receptions on 7 targets for 38 yards.
It's because Mike White wasn't there.
But I think we could jump right over the Colts now. Wentz was a solid streaming option this week against the Jets defense, and he ended up with over 24 fantasy points, 3 touchdowns, 272 yards. What did you guys think of Wentz's performance Thursday?
I mean, he did what he was supposed to do against a terrible defense.
He was fine.
Yeah, a good streamer or the candidate this week if you decided to start him.
No doubt.
And Tom Brady or somebody was out.
And then the person who crushed a lot of fantasy players' dreams or might have even won them leagues Thursday night, Jonathan Taylor, 19 attempts for 172 yards and 2 touchdowns, broke a 78-yard run in. He just looked fantastic, guys.
He looked really fast, too.
On that run, he did.
I was like, what?
He looked like he was back in college.
Looked faster than he was in college. He was just...
Yeah, he was definitely impressive. This whole Colts offense was good. Pittman caught 5 of 6 targets for 64 yards and a touchdown. Jack Doyle caught a touchdown. That was kind of a bummer. I kind of wish it went to Mo Alley Cox. Ended up starting him in a couple places. And then an offensive guard came in and caught a touchdown.
That's nice.
First career reception, first career touchdown. Suck it, Jacoby Myers.
That guy's already better than Jacoby, I guess.
No, he ain't better. But it's funny how NFL and the fantasy football works. Jacoby Myers gets all these targets, all these receptions, but can't score. But one offensive lineman gets 1 target and he gets a touchdown.
Yeah, totally crazy. But what do we say? We jump into it. Our game previews and stuff. LaPlante, who are the teams on bye this week?
Teams on bye this week are Detroit Lions. So Ike, you're missing DeAndre Swift. I'm missing TJ Hawkinson and Scott Fishbowl. Then we got the Seattle Seahawks. You're down DK Metcalf, and of course you already knew this, Dylan. You were down Chris Carson. You got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers also on bye, along with the Washington football team. Maybe Antonio Gibson gets healthy over this week.
Not going to happen, man.
Leave it up to optimism.
He's got a broken shin, and you think it's going to heal in a week. I don't believe it.
Nope.
But jumping into our first game preview, Minnesota at Baltimore. I believe this is the highest over-under of the week, I believe, right?
Yes, it is.
Injuries heading into this week. Baltimore, Murray's out. Watkins thigh, he's out. He's questionable along with Bateman with a groin.
Watkins did practice, though, so it is hopeful that he will start.
How do we feel about Kirk coming into this week as a streaming option? Baltimore's kind of been beat up through the air this season. How do you guys feel?
Yeah, Baltimore has been beat up through the air this year. They haven't been allowing much on the ground. So, I mean, if Minnesota is going to win this game, they're going to have to attack it through the air.
Agreed. Ike, anything to add?
No.
Okay. You're starting Dalvin Cook. You're starting Justin Jefferson. You're probably starting Adam Thielen, I'd assume.
No, you're absolutely starting Adam
Super
Thielen.
touchdown dependent.
It's just
he's been good lately.
Temper your expectations. Dalvin Cook only has 2 touchdowns on the year. Justin Jefferson hasn't been scoring many times. It's been all Adam Thielen. It's going to have some touchdown regression.
Yeah. KJ Osborne, Tyler Conklin. Anyone interested in them guys? I did see a couple.
Conklin, yeah.
I did hear a couple people talking to him on a few different podcasts that they like Conklin this week, but
not for me.
I don't.
As a streaming tight end, I would do it. Baltimore has not been good against the tight ends this year. They've just been allowing teams to throw to the tight end on them. I don't know why. But so I think Conklin's a good stream this week, but it's nothing to get your hopes up over a monster game.
Yeah, the numbers do point that way. You're right, Mike. Baltimore's allowed 10.7 fantasy points to tight ends.
And that's that magic number we like.
Yeah, and that's the 3rd worst in the NFL. So jumping on over to Baltimore, this high-powered throwing offense now since all the running backs stink. Lamar Jackson, definitely a start. Minnesota's defense, not very good. Anyone in this backfield intrigue you guys?
No.
I mean, if it was
Devontae Freeman.
If Murray was healthy, I'd be going him. But since he's going to be out, it's just going to be a freaking revolving door between Tyson Williams, Devontae Freeman, and Le'Veon Bell. You're just going to be sitting there praying for one of them to get a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you had to choose, I'd agree with Ike, and Devontae Freeman's the play this week.
And then let's talk pass catchers. Hollywood Brown.
You're starting him. He's killing
Mark
it this year.
Andrews, Rashad Bateman. Do they are with those three on the field? Are they going to eat into each other's production now?
I think Marquise Brown and Mark Andrews have already solidified their role in this offense. I think Bateman, he's getting the targets. It's nice, but I mean, these can easily go to the running backs as well.
Give me your Bateman. Give me your Bateman pitch. I was hoping you were.
I don't got one actually. I think it's Marquise Brown and Mark Andrews' offense for pass catchers. Bateman will get his some nights, but it's not going to be anything like you guys expect, I don't think.
Okay. That's fair enough. I think we could go ahead and jump into the next one. New England Patriots at the Carolina Panthers. Nick Folk. Dang, everyone who plays in those all kicker leagues, man, might have to look for a different kicker. Nick Folk.
That's my kicker, man.
I was just going to say, I just traded freaking Tyler Bass in our league to get Nick Folk.
I got Odell, too. Turns out he's not on team.
Yeah, well, you're making some bomb-ass trades this year.
Like, you're not really thinking about starting Nick Folk with a knee injury, right? What, he's a kicker?
Left knee, man. He'll be all right. Is he a lefty kicker?
He's a right-legged kicker, but you plant with your left when you're going to kick, man.
I plant all the time with a hurt knee. It's okay.
What if he kicks off and is running down the field and it just acts up? Like, why on earth would you even put yourself through
I'm pretty
that?
sure he was questionable last week with a left knee injury.
Anyways.
All he did was put up 14 fantasy points or something in our
I still don't care. I think you're a crazy asshole.
That's fine.
But on the Carolina Panthers side, Darnold is struggling with injury. He got popped last week trying to get in the end zone running. Got a concussion and a shoulder issue. He's questionable, but I'm thinking PJ Walker is going to play.
Yeah, and we don't want really anybody from this offense if PJ Walker is playing.
I was going to say CMC is supposed to come back, right? He's not on Ike's injury report here. He was
have forgotten him, but he was definitely active.
May have forgot. How do you forget the number 1 overall pick in the
He's been out for like 5 weeks, man.
I'm pretty sure Matt Rule said that if he plays, he's going to be limited.
That's why I'm not a huge fan of CMC. He's going to be limited. I know he can be good with
that. His limited's like 12 fantasy points.
Is he limited because he's still recovering from the injury, though?
I think he's limited because I think he's fully recovered, but Stefania Bell on the ESPN or Fantasy Focus, she said it's like a 1 in 10 chance. 1 in 10 chance of re-aggravation of the hamstring injury.
See, I think that's what they're going to be afraid of is just re-aggravating.
It totally can happen, man.
I mean, this is their franchise guy. They can't afford him to be hurt or the.
He was just in trade talks. I thought.
I didn't hear no trade talks about him.
I did
just
hear
a few days ago. Yeah.
How well did that transpire?
Barely any trades happened.
Not a whole lot.
Von Miller, come on now.
Come on.
How are you? This is tough now. If PJ Walker starts, I mean, even if Darnold's the starting quarterback, the wide receivers here.
I'm sitting DJ Moore. You have to sit everybody passing wise. I mean,
I'm still playing DJ Moore.
I was going to say, if you're sitting DJ Moore, man, you got some balls on you.
I mean, last game he had 8 targets and it resulted in 4 receptions for 59 yards.
That's fine.
That's not fine. That's not even 10 fantasy points in PPR.
It's could be worse.
Yeah, it could be better where you drafted DJ Moore at. This is not the breakout year that we've been expecting and hoping for.
Let's play a game here. DJ Moore, Deontay Johnson.
Guaranteed. Brett, here's what I want to know.
Take it easy on the guaranteed. I said that last week.
And he's lined up against Jalen. He's going to be lined up against Jalen Johnson, who's been pretty solid.
Yeah, but he's just guaranteed all these targets. Deontay Johnson.
Guaranteed.
I was going to say, so's DJ Moore, though.
What, 8 targets?
That's good.
10 targets? Yeah. Why are you hating on 8 targets? He's the focal point of the offense besides Christian McCaffrey. And if he's limited, the ball is going to be funneled to DJ Moore. They're going to want to get the ball in his hands.
Yes.
DJ Moore or Adam Thielen, who we already talked about. Really?
Yep. I don't like honestly, New England's passing defense is good. I mean, J.C. Jackson is still one of the top cornerbacks in the league.
All right.
I like Thielen actually a lot this week.
I'm taking DJ Moore over Thielen. You guys are wrong. And then last one, DJ Moore or T. Higgins?
T. Higgins.
Oh, shit. No, DJ. Whoa. No way. DJ
T.
Moore.
Higgins.
What the fuck?
T. Higgins. I
I have T. Higgins, so that makes
you got to
me feel
think about
better,
this.
so.
PJ Walker might start. He was worse than Sam Darnold. You want to put all your eggs in the DJ Moore basket with PJ Walker throwing him the ball? Yeah, that's not very confident, Ike.
I mean, targets
They've
are
played
targets.
together before, though, last year.
Targets are targets, man. Brandon Cooks is catching balls from Davis fucking Mills and getting 15 targets and being productive for fantasy.
Put some respect on that former 5-star recruit's name.
Davis Mills was playing better than Sam Darnold, though.
Former 5-star recruit, Davis.
Yeah, funny.
We got one question from our buddy here, Clayton. This one will be a quick one. Where do you think OBJ is going?
New Orleans.
You think New Orleans?
Raiders.
I heard the Raiders make sense because apparently they were restructuring some cap space with one of their players the morning of OBJ's news of being waived. So that speaks that they're going to put a claim in. But I mean, it's a waiver claim. He could go to the Lions. The Lions need a wide receiver, and they're first on the claim. We all know how it is in fantasy.
You think
football.
that asshole OBJ is going to show up to Detroit?
No.
I was gonna be like, Detroit, what the? No.
Yeah, no.
But I think one spot that really makes a lot of sense, Atlanta. Losing Calvin Ridley for the time being. Matt Ryan still needs another target. I mean, they need that deep threat.
Baltimore wouldn't be bad.
There's
going to be a lot of teams that might want him. Kansas City should.
I mean, well, realistically and idealistically, if OBJ had his way, he'd clear waivers and go sign with Kansas City.
Or Green Bay or something like that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
as long as Aaron Rodgers isn't suspended or whatever.
But we won't know until we know.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead. Let's jump into New England now. Mac and cheese, Mac Jones. Decent matchup against Carolina. Their defense has been streaky up and down. New England's offensive line isn't great. Carolina's pass rush is pretty good.
This seems like it's going to be a slug it out, slow pace game.
Totally.
Sure.
New England's going to want to grind it on the ground with Damian Harris and stuff.
I really think your only two confident starts are probably Damian Harris and Hunter Henry, maybe. Because Johnny Smith was on it questionable for this game again.
I can't get behind Hunter Henry being a guaranteed starter, though. I don't love it.
With a tight end landscape,
100% touchdown dependent, though.
Absolutely, but if you're a tight end and you get a touchdown, that puts you that much closer to a tight end 1 week. Evan Ingram had, 2 catches for 30 yards last week and a touchdown, and that made him a tight end 1.
Hunter Henry or Tyler Higbee?
Hunter Henry.
I think I'm going Hunter.
Hunter Henry or Zach Ertz?
Zach Ertz.
With the news of Kyler being hobbled and Hopkins being out, Zach Ertz.
Okay. And are we over Jacoby Myers before we move?
I mean, he's a good PPR. He's a poorer man's Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, like Jamison Crowder, I guess, kind of.
But even poor.
Kendrick Bourne is getting more of the touchdowns and all that. So Jacoby Myers, you can probably leave as flex at best.
Yeah, he's going to be flex at best, and it's just because of PPR value. So if you want, we can move on to our next game.
Battle of Ohio, Cleveland at Cincinnati. Donovan Peoples-Jones is injured with a groin injury. He's questionable. Since he doesn't really have anything of significance. And also, I almost said Odell. Baker's shoulders obviously still fucked up with the.
He's playing though.
Yeah, he'll be fine. But are we playing him in our fantasy matchups this week? Is what I want.
No, I don't think this is going to be a Baker game or even a Case Keenum game if Baker doesn't play or he gets injured. It's going to be a run it down Cincinnati's throat game.
Yeah,
keep it out of Burrow's hands.
Like the only pass catcher that might be any relevant is going to be Jarvis Landry, and that's just because OBJ's not there anymore.
And then Nick Chubb came back into the fold. He played 55% of the snaps. Dearness Johnson, who I was intrigued to see what he did, if he was going to jump right into the Kareem Hunt role or not. He didn't, not quite. He only played 18. He only played 18 snaps, but he did find his way into the end zone,
into an end zone.
Settle down, man. On a good run, but he's not start worthy. He's pretty much touchdown dependent, flex play at that.
He's a solid backup for Nick Chubb, and that's all.
Pass catchers though in the offense. Starting any of them? How do you feel about
Landry?
I do like Landry this week a lot.
Just Landry.
He's battling with a nagging injury as well, but especially with Odell out of the picture, he could see close to 10 targets or so. So
he had 10 targets last week. He doubled Donovan Peoples-Jones, who was the next target leader. So Jarvis Landry's the only one you can comfortably start as a pass catcher out of this group.
Sure. Jumping over to Cincinnati now. Joe Burrow, a little bit disappointing. In a couple weeks, you like him in this matchup against Cleveland?
Man, it's a tough one. I say you got to start him.
Start him every week.
He's been getting the touchdowns. That's
every week, Ike. Huh?
Well, yeah, he's a top 10 quarterback, top 12 quarterback.
Okay.
Yeah, he's averaging 20 points a game.
I don't love this matchup. Kind of like what you said earlier, LaPlante, about the other game being a slugfest. I kind of could see that happening too, because I know Cincinnati was on a slower pace, and you know how Cleveland's offense likes to run. They try to jam it right down your throat and stuff. So I think this could kind of be like a 20-17 game or something.
Honestly, I have a feeling it's either going to be like a 13-10 game, or it's going to be like a 30-28 game.
That's what I was thinking. It could be a shootout.
Just because with the big plays being allowed by Cincinnati and Cleveland, they're both allowing big plays. I mean, Nick Chubb can easily take 2, 60-yard touchdowns to the
Jamar Chase can easily take.
Exactly.
Yeah, so.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either going to be a shootout or a slugfest. I don't think it's going to be anywhere in between.
And Ike already mentioned Jamar Chase. Can you guys rank Cincinnati's receivers? I'm assuming we're all going to have it.
Yeah, it's Chase, Higgins, Boyd. Obviously.
We're not chasing that touchdown last week from Tyler Boyd at all?
No.
Well, how do you feel, LaPlante? You're the resident Tyler Boyd owner here. Let's hear it.
I mean, it's confident. I mean, it's definitely optimistic to see him get the touchdown last week, but it was in a game where it was back and forth. Like, if they're dominating games and it's a positive game script, Tyler Boyd's not going to have much relevance. He's a solid wide receiver 3. He's got a good baseline, but he doesn't seem to have that ceiling this year like he had last year.
Answer me this, though. Can you physically put him in your lineup and be like, okay, I'm going to anticipate him scoring 8 to 12 points and I'll be happy? Or are you like, I'm not trusting it?
He's going to get you the 8 to 10 points. Honestly, he kind of reminds me a little bit like Hunter Renfrow. Again, I keep saying his name, but he's the underneath guy. He's going to be looked at on third downs. I mean, it's either going to be him or Uzama. That's what this target share seems to be bouncing back and forth from. It's going from Uzama to Tyler Boyd. Like, Higgins and Chase have their roles, and it just kind of keeps popping back and forth between those two.
I mean, I have no idea what Tyler Boyd's contract situation looks like, but it would be nice to see him on a different team that's wide receiver needy next season, or something like that.
Sure.
Are we falling into the CJ Uzoma trap or no?
No. Not this week. Maybe next week.
Right on after he blows up this weekend.
Pretty much.
Like we said, he's a poor man's Robert Tonyan from last year. It's hard to start that with confidence.
Yep. Next game, Denver at Dallas. Denver's got nothing on the injury front. In Dallas, Cooper's on that injury report with a hamstring. Shocker. Seems like it's been
the one that was really kind of shocking was CeeDee Lamb, though, late in the week.
He rolled his ankle
with that ankle, yeah.
Hopefully.
They're both going to be fine. Apparently.
I'm worried that Dallas might set CD for this one game.
Rub some dirt on it, tape that thing up, toss him out there.
Agreed.
Let's jump. Well, we're already talking about Dallas, so we might as well jump in. If Dak plays, are you guys still confident in just sticking him out there and hope for the best?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I mean,
Must
Denver's defense has been a pushover a little bit this
They
year.
don't have Von Miller anymore either. So
You're starting Zeke. Are we starting Tony Pollard at the wide receiver running back?
we could try. I don't think it'll work.
I think this is a good week for Tony Pollard. I think he has flex appeal. Dallas could get up big and just try to run out the clock with the injury to Dak Prescott. They don't want to have him throw more than necessary.
Wasn't he basically non-existent last week, though?
Yeah, with Cooper Rush.
I'm clicking on him to see what his game log looked like. Give me a second. It's 7 rushes for 26 yards and 1 catch for 1 yard. So yeah, it was say it was a disappointing game from Pollard. Who would you guys rather start, Pollard or Devin Singletary?
Oh, Jesus.
I think I'm going to go Singletary this week because of the matchup against Jacksonville. They're going to be up big. They're going to want to run it down their throats.
I
guess Devin Singletary.
Tony Pollard or either Titans running back. Jeremy
I would start McNichols.
I'd go McNichols. I think I'd lean Tony Pollard over Peterson just because we don't know exactly.
Let's save that talk for Tennessee. That was my bad.
My question is,
done that.
That was on you. Tony Pollard or AJ Dillon?
AJ Dillon. Well, I want to save that talk. I want to save that talk for the Green Bay too, because I want to get into that a little bit more. And then one more, since we already talked about this guy, Tony Pollard or Dearness Johnson.
Tony Pollard.
Not even think about it, huh?
Mm-mm.
If Dearness Johnson was getting the passing work, I'd maybe lean more towards him, but he's not.
Right on. Okay. Ike, we also didn't mention Gallup. He wasn't on the injury report either. Have you heard what's the latest on Gallup? Have you heard?
I have not heard.
He's been practicing.
He's not activated off of IR, right?
That's the big thing. He's not activated off IR, so it doesn't look like he's going to play this week, but expect him back next week.
He would have been activated if he was going to be playing this week.
Are we starting to get a little worried about Dalton Schultz after a few really good weeks? He's kind of come back down to earth a little bit, right?
Well, I mean, last week was because of Cooper Rush, obviously.
And he was fine.
Yeah, Cooper Rush was fine, but he didn't mean he was targeting the tight end.
He saw 7 targets and only caught 2 of them for 11 yards.
So, I mean, with Michael Gallup being out, I think Dalton Schultz has relevance this week. But once Michael Gallup comes back, that's when they're going to start eating into each other's workload.
I could see that. Denver is 4th in the NFL with stopping opposing tight ends, only allowing 4.7 fantasy points to the position.
It's because they're allowing so many to the wide receiver.
Pretty much.
Sure. Jumping over to Denver on the offensive side. Teddy Bridgewater, he's been doing Teddy things.
I think this is a good streaming week for Teddy. I mean, Dallas's defense.
You don't like him. You kind of pick on them every week of the podcast.
I do.
I've come to notice.
I mean, I don't know how they. I mean, yeah, I do know how they were able to stop Minnesota last week because Kirk Cousins sucks in primetime.
Or maybe their defense is just fine now.
It's not. It's still allowing a lot of yards. I mean, the only reason they're
fight him about it.
Trayvon Diggs is the highlight of this defense. Having this
Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I haven't heard him much. I mean,
bullshit.
But
Trayvon Diggs is a turnover machine, man.
He is. He absolutely is. But I think Teddy Bridgewater is going to be more efficient with Judy back. Now that they're incorporating Javonte Williams more into that offense, I think he's got all his weapons.
I personally stayed away from Tedward this week.
Tedward, huh?
Running backs, rank them for me, please. Javonte or Melvin?
I can't. This is a tough one. I think I'm leaning Javonte just because he's getting the passing work in the past few games, but it's damn near close.
It's literally 50-50.
It split right down the fucking middle.
I'd go Melvin Gordon.
Okay, I'm going to ask you the same question. Rank the 3 receivers.
Cortland Sutton has the highest ceiling. Jerry Jeudy's, I think, the safest play because he's going to get the targets. And, I mean, he caught all 4 of his targets. I mean, his role is the short underneath route, kind of like Deontay Johnson. in the Pittsburgh offense. So Judy's the safe play. I don't think he has much as a ceiling as Cortland Sutton because we've seen him kill it deep. And I mean, I don't want to rank anybody after Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton.
You're out on our
Sutton,
accountant
Jeudy,
Tim Patrick.
Yes, absolutely. Tim Patrick was only he was solid with Jeudy out, but with Jeudy back in, I don't think he's only getting 3 targets last week.
But he was efficient with them. 3 for 64 or something like that, right?
Yep. His long was 31 on 1 catch. So I mean, that's half of his yards right there.
And then we also missed talking about Noah Fant at the top 2. He's out with COVID this week.
Good job, Mike.
So Albert is going to be.
He was questionable too, but he's going to be
starting
the starter. Yeah. No,
don't be surprised if you see him score a touchdown. That dude's not bad, man. He's not bad at all. We've seen a few bursts from him and stuff. Anything else, or are we jumping in the next one?
No, I think we can jump into the next one. That one pretty hit it on all the heads.
Buffalo at Jacksonville. Jacksonville. I wanted to say Buffalo at Jacksonville. I just kind of combined them.
The most coarsest, roughest rope in the rope inventory. I said Southern, not Southern Prospector.
Oh man, Buffalo. Knox is out with that hand injury. Beasley is questionable with the Wibs. For Jacksonville, J-Rob questionable with a heel injury. Game time
He's
decision.
not expected to play.
Yeah, this one's scary. Jumping into Jacksonville, though, you gotta talk about scary. If you try to start Trevor Lawrence, that's gonna be scary.
Can I sum up the Jacksonville offense? If James Robinson is out, I'm not playing anybody. If he's in, I'm playing James Robinson. Buffalo is number 1 against quarterbacks against fantasy points, number 1 against running backs, and number 1 against wide receivers. They're 8 against tight ends.
Let's go, Dan. The Dan
band.
Dan
Arnold. You know they're going to be down. I mean, honestly, I'm not even comfortable about it, but just because how bad tight ends are, I mean, you could maybe throw in Arnold this week, but that's it.
I've thought about picking him up and playing him over.
He might be a solid DFS play
over Patty Fries, but yeah,
if you want to punt at tight end. But yeah, I mean, we're not. I mean, even Marvin Jones, we're not starting Marvin Jones. We're not starting LaVisca. We're not starting Trevor. If you're desperate at running back, go ahead and start Carlos Hyde. He's going to get the volume, but he's not going to do much with it.
I have to start Carlos Hyde in a spot. I definitely don't love that.
He's going to get the volume, but he's not going to do much with it against this Buffalo defense.
And then jumping over to Buffalo's offense, you're starting Josh Allen. You're starting Stephon Diggs. Zach Moss, this could be positive game script for him. He might be able to find the end zone a couple times. Or Josh Allen could just keep it and run it in himself.
That's probably going to be all 3. I mean, Josh Allen, he's going to probably get a touchdown. Zach Moss and Devin Singletary are both flex-worthy candidates against this good matchup. I mean, they're just going to have the positive game script working in their favor. It wouldn't be shocking if they both get about 15 carries.
I want to know what you're feeling with Emmanuel Sanders. He's been very, very feast or famine. Like last week, he saw 4 targets and didn't catch any of them.
Mm-hmm.
The week before, he saw 8 targets and had 91 yards and 5 receptions. The week before, he had 2 touchdowns. Like,
true boomer bust, man.
Yeah, no, I mean,
you have to put him in your lineup.
It really shows how good of a quarterback Josh Allen's developed into, because with a good quarterback, they spread the ball around, and that's exactly what he's doing. One week it's Emmanuel Sanders. One week, last week it's Cole Beasley. Then it's going to be Stephon Diggs always getting his.
Diggs has kind of just been a disappointment this year.
No, where you drafted him?
From what people thought he was,
yeah. Yeah, he was a 2nd round pick.
He was my most drafts, either the 2nd.
That's what he'll do to you, man.
Yeah, that's
what he did to you in Minnesota.
Yeah, he's I'm curious to see, because he was under 100 targets in Minnesota, right? I still think he'll probably see over 100 targets. I'm assuming he's on pace to go over.
Yeah.
Well, in 17 games, big time.
But didn't he see like 140 last year or something?
Oh, he led the league.
That sounds stupid.
Yeah, I don't think we're seeing that same.
No, it's not the
volume.
same workload as he had last year.
Mm-hmm. But we jump into the next one. Houston at Miami. Houston's got nothing on the injury report. Yeah, this game's disgusting too. Miami, Tua, he's still got banged up with the rib injury and his left finger now. I don't know which finger, but
Ike,
it's not good.
Parker is not doubtful. He's on the IR. He's out.
Did they? I missed that.
Yeah,
they ended up
Devontae Parker had the setback. He was, ruled doubtful, but then it was such a bad setback. I guess they put him on the short-term IR. He's going to miss at least 3 games.
Sucks.
I posted it in our damn fantasy chat, guys. Do you ever pay attention to what I say?
No.
No surprise.
Houston, let's start there.
Brandon Cooks. That's it.
Literally.
Tyrod, do we like him better with Tyrod?
Sure.
Starting?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Tyrod's the more competent quarterback. But Miami is a decent defense against the pass. They're not good against the run. So, but that's the hard thing about this backfield. Who do you want? Rex Burkhead, David Johnson, Phillip Lindsay?
You got to stay away, man, because didn't Rex Burkhead lead the team in touches out of the backfield?
And he fell in the end zone.
Yeah. I think Houston might steal this one, guys. Miami's
Tua
is hurt.
Tua is hurt, but if Houston wins this one, man, Brian Flores is going to be on the hot seat.
No, I don't think so. You got to remember he won 10 games last season, and just this year just definitely hasn't went their way. I think they're at least giving him one more season. But that pretty much does it for Houston. Let's talk about Tua. I had him as my start quarterback in my article, but now
he's missing Parker.
Seeing that left finger, man, that worries me too. Obviously, he's left-handed quarterback. That's kind of shaky, but the matchup is so juicy.
I know. Why you got to talk about my streaming quarterback this week?
All right. How do you feel about him, man?
You're a little, like you said, you're a little shaky with that finger, but Tua the past couple games has been balling out.
Yeah, but last week he even did okay against the Bills last week. I think he finished with 15 fantasy points, but the 2 before that was in the mid-20s. So Tua is a borderline quarterback 1 for me.
Oh, he had a 25-point finish, and I want to say a 27-point finish in the past 4 weeks. He just played Buffalo last week, and what did we say about Buffalo? Number 1 against quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers, and he still did decent.
Tua Tagovailoa or Ryan Tannehill?
Who's Tannehill play?
The Rams.
I think I'm going Tua.
Tua Tagovailoa or Daniel Jones?
Tua.
Yeah, Tua. Daniel Jones has not been good without his weapons.
Tua Tagovailoa or Matt Ryan?
You guys say his last name every time?
Yeah. Do you not like it? Or
he's rehearsing it, so he doesn't mess it up.
Tua. It's Tua.
It's Tua.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you guys. We're agreeing too much on this show, I feel.
That's never good.
You gave us Matt Ryan without camera.
LaPlante, let's confess your love for Myles Gaskin.
This is, of all weeks, the best week for him.
That's why
plays the Houston Texans. He's been getting the
passing. Prepared to be disappointed.
Totally.
Kind of like
this is the perfect week for them to be like, you know what? Let's try out Salvon Ahmed just for no apparent reason.
Well, I think there is an apparent reason. I think it's because Salvon Ahmed looks like the better running back. I
won't be as disappointed as trading for Odell Beckham.
Just wait till he goes to Kansas City and does amazing.
Myles Gaskin, he's getting the lion's share of the work. He's getting at least 15 opportunities a game. He had 12 attempts for 36 yards last week. It's not very efficient, but they played the Bills. They're number 1 against running backs. He still had 4 targets, 3 receptions. He's getting the passing work. He gets 15 opportunities a game. What more could you ask for?
The problem is they just can't run. The
it's Houston.
Can't create any hole. I don't
care
who
any runs in the red zone.
I'd assume he would now. But
Yes. In the
think.
last 3 games, he has 7 attempts inside the 20.
That's fine.
Compared to Ahmed's 2.
Okay.
He's also getting 4 targets in the red zone as well. So he is the red zone guy.
Okay.
That's good.
Riddle me this, guys. Myles Gaskin or Melvin Gordon, Ike?
Melvin Gordon.
Miles.
Melvin Gordon's proven it week after week, at least.
He's getting half of the share and not even the PPR work.
Still more consistent.
I'm gonna side with Ike with Gordon.
No
I
surprise.
can't. I'm sorry, guys. I can't put Gaskin in my lineup.
No.
He's just so shaky to me. You can't. Like, I'm the Gaskin owner, and I can't ever feel comfortable doing it anymore. I started him in that London game, and he was just absolutely atrocious. And that was an awesome matchup against Jacksonville. What if that happens again in this game? And they just decide to roll with Ahmed because I think he looks better.
I mean, if they're up, it's going to be both of them getting the work. But even if they're down by chance, it's going to be Miles getting the work in the PPR.
Gaskin or Boston Scott?
I like Boston Scott a little bit more this week. It's a better matchup against the Chargers. He was the number one.
Boston Scott in that one.
He was.
I can't trust him because
guy.
Jordan Howard, man. I just know Jordan Howard's going to steal touchdowns.
Yeah, that's fair. But Boston Scott was, I mean, when they weren't killing the Lions in the first.
And
quarter,
what happened
Boston
to
Scott
Kenneth Gainwell?
Couldn't tell you.
Maybe since I got nothing.
Yeah, Jordan Howard, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe they didn't.
He's only allowed to play when Sanders plays.
Maybe they didn't want to burn Gainwell out because they were playing the shithole Lions.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Gainwell has been the passing
That'd be a good
back,
time for him to play.
And they weren't in a negative game script, so I guess they really didn't need him for that role this game. They smashed him 45 or 44-10.
Guys, if you have Waddle in any of your leagues, he needs to be in your lineup this week now.
Yeah. With Devontae Parker out, yep.
Agree.
Every week he should be.
And Gesicki is a top 5 tight end.
Yep, Gesicki's
pretty much for the rest of the season.
I wouldn't.
Yep.
No.
Stop hating the plan. I know it.
If Devontae Parker comes back, it gets a little sketchy. But if Devontae Parker's out, I agree.
Or it just opens up more for him.
He's a wide receiver, man. He's a wide receiver. He's good. Analysis.
I mean, he's getting 7 targets a game. That's what we like.
He's just good, man.
He's getting 7 targets a game. That's what we like, and he's catching them. So I mean,
yep, two targets. That tight end. Next game, Atlanta at New Orleans. We kind of touched on it a little earlier. Ridley's out with personal matter. Just hope for the best for him. Hopefully,
for the best.
Hopefully, he figures his stuff out and he can come back to football. But right now, football is on the back burner where it needs to be for him.
Yep.
And then, unfortunately for New Orleans, Winston tore his ACL.
And we have Trevor Siemian named the starter.
Yes. Is Peyton kind of over Taysom Hill now, or what?
He's still hurt or banged up or something like that. Has to be, I think.
They said he's gonna play though. Like,
I think Sean Payton likes running his offense more with a pocket passing quarterback, not a running quarterback. I mean, that's why they chose Jameis Winston in the beginning.
I want them to get Phillip Rivers.
I'm thinking,
personally,
guys, what I'm thinking why he went with Simeon is the way that he was running his offense with Jameis Winston. You plug Simeon in, and not much is going to have to change.
It's a pocket passer.
Yes, yeah, not a whole lot. He's not going to.
Andy showed composure against the Bucs last week, so I mean, he's throwing him a bone.
Ike, I think that's good news for Kamara.
They should pick up Phillip Rivers.
So
he did say he was.
So you can just reap the benefits of dump offs to Kamara all day long. Sorry, fantasy doesn't happen how we want it.
15 catches incoming for a Kamara game, pretty much.
And
that's how you get injured.
LaPlante, I'll give you the floor for Mark Ingram since you poo-pooed on Ike and I last week.
Yeah, what the fuck?
We didn't want him. Your face is saying it all right now.
I'm trying to actually pull up what he had last week.
You look like I attacked you or
he
said
caught
something
the ball
about
like
your mama.
Twice for 30 yards. I think that's about it.
Yeah. Wasn't very good.
He's back though, man.
I can't even. They're not even showing him on here for my stats. What the hell?
That's because he's really good. But
Oh, there he is.
Moving on.
He had 6 attempts for 27 yards, 2 targets. I mean, he's the second guy in this offense. I mean, he's going to have his weeks where he has his touchdowns, but he is the handcuff to Alvin Kamara.
We probably just could have kept this nice and simple and pretty much said Kamara's the only guy we're starting, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
All right. Well, jumping over to Atlanta.
Before we do, because, I mean, obviously injury Ike over here just misses all the news. Michael Thomas out for the year.
Everybody knew that.
Oh, did they?
He's been gone for the past 8 weeks. Nobody cares about him anymore.
But he was expected to come back and has a different ankle injury now.
Yeah, different ankle injury, sure. Okay.
Well, we can jump over to the Falcons now. I mean,
ankle injury.
You could really, I mean, confidently we're starting Patterson. I mean, his role is defined. I mean, he's an anomaly this year. You can start Pitts because he's starting to just murder it. He's on pace to have that best rookie tight end season that we all were talking about. At least me. I don't know if you guys were even behind that at the time.
Nope.
Yep, didn't think so. But I'm curious, are you guys confident in starting Gage this week, knowing that the Falcons had a full week to prepare without Calvin Ridley?
Hell no.
Hell to the no.
No. He saw 0 targets last week, guy. You can't.
They expected Ridley to play.
I don't give a shit. How much can his role possibly change now, though? He was lining up outside as the other opposite of Calvin Ridley, and I feel like he's still going to. It's just the opposite of
nobody's starting on the wide receivers for sure.
I mean, I think you could throw Gage in there as a flex, but no more.
Mike, he saw 0 targets
in a week where they expected to have Calvin Ridley.
But he was starting to come on before that, is my point. Gage was. So why would he all of a sudden see 0 targets? That's the part that doesn't make any sense to me.
Because maybe he just wasn't a part of the game plan that week. Because again, they expected to have Calvin Ridley.
Cordell Patterson's the game plan now.
Yes, he is.
I think he's a good stash because you don't know how long Ridley is going to be out for. And
sure.
I mean, you want to give me the argument in Houston, they got to throw the ball to somebody. I mean,
Kyle Pitts, Cordell Patterson.
Defenses are going to start locking down on these players, or at least hyper focusing on these players.
Just like they're hyper focusing on Brandon Cooks, but he's still seeing 12 targets a game, man. And
they got to throw it to somebody.
Yeah, and it's going to be Kyle Pitts, asshole.
Cordell Patterson or Mike Davis.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Did you just say Mike Davis?
Yeah,
Mike
unfortunately.
Davis.
Mike Davis.
Say it, Mike, with your nasally voice.
Mike Davis.
There it is. I love it.
Real quick. I mean, this is how bad Mike Davis has fallen off. Mike Davis or A.J. Dillon this week?
A.J. Dillon.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Mike Davis or Tony Pollard?
Mike Davis.
Nah, Tony Pollard.
I think I lean Tony Pollard.
Remember when you drafted him as like your what?
Hey, I'm not the only one.
3?
I'm not the only one. I mean, as a running back 3, that's fine. At least he's not my running back. Well, no, he is my running back too. Because of Derrick Henry.
It was you and Danny Heifetz, man. You guys were the
Joe was high on him too.
You guys were the Mike Davis truthers for sure.
Hey man, you can't always get him right.
Nope, you can't. Just like
those quads got you in training camp, man.
yeah, they did.
No, it's fucking Cordell Patterson. What the fuck, man? Why is he here?
He just shows up and does things, man.
I know. It's just apparently he's good with Arthur Smith, but not anybody else. But yeah, I mean, we're starting Pitts. We're starting Cordell Patterson. I mean, you could probably bench Mike Davis in this matchup if you have other options.
All right, moving on. We talked about it already.
Yep. We'll move on to the next game here. The Las Vegas Raiders at the New York Giants. Go ahead, Dylan. Do the explaining.
Okay. Yeah. Unfortunately, guys, I'm sure you all heard the news. Henry Ruggs stuff was absolutely awful. I don't know that we necessarily need to get into it, but he is no longer with the Raiders.
I mean, just
he's probably he's gonna end up in jail.
I mean,
and guys, don't drink and drive.
Yeah, to sum it up, just always play it safe. If you're drinking and driving, get an Uber, get a friend to pick you up, man.
Yep. But jumping to the to the Giants injury news, which always seems to be bad with Sterling Shepard.
It seems
out
like
with a quad.
at least once a game we have a receiver going to the blue tent for the Giants.
Yep. Galladay's still questionable.
He was limited in practice.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be able to play. Barkley is
Unlikely.
Barkley out?
I think Barkley is going to remain out. So it's going to be.
I know he had a COVID scare as well.
It was a negative test.
It was a false positive. Yep. But let's jump into the Vegas offense now. What impact of sorry, let me rephrase that. Ike, what is the impact on this offense with losing Ruggs?
Their deep threat's gone.
What happened to your boy Brian Edwards? I thought he was the deep threat.
No, he's a possession.
No, he was the clutch guy. He was the clutch guy, I guess.
I mean, I think this opens the floor a little bit more for Brian Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think that Zay Jones can kind of just slide into the Ruggs role and continue just being that deep threat there, and then kind of just shift their target focus?
You want to shit on me for Russell Gage, but you're gonna sit over here and tell people that maybe Zay Jones can be started.
Check the tape, man. That's not what I said. I asked you.
But you shit on me for Russell Gage, and you're over here thinking about starting Zay Jones.
I wouldn't start Zay Jones, but I mean,
that wasn't my question. I asked you if he was going to slide into the deep threat with Ruggs. Okay.
I mean, he also no.
Okay.
Not a fan of Zay.
Derek Carr, are we starting him this week?
Yes, absolutely.
Ike still feeling cute about him?
I think he'll be okay.
He's top 3 in passing yards on the year. I mean,
that's fine.
You play him.
And then the running backs, Josh Jacobs, not on Ike's injury report, but he's got a battle at a chest injury. I think he should be all right.
Yeah,
that's why he's not on it.
Okay.
Why mention someone if they're going to play?
Because if they're questionable, that means they're still on the injury report.
I didn't think it was a guarantee that he was going to play.
Well, now you know.
Right on.
The main thing I want to know is, I mean, if Josh Jacobs does not play.
We just said he's playing, though.
I mean, you're not a doctor. Ike's not a doctor.
I don't know. Ike's confident, man. He's confident enough that he did not put him on the injury report.
I wonder if is he texting Josh Jacobs on the side of the way, man? How you feeling?
How's your chest, dog?
But I mean, what I want to know is, I don't think I know my answer. I know my answer. But do you guys like Kenyon Drake in the backup role if Josh?
Not even remotely.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Kenyon Drake.
If Jacobs is out, Drake is borderline RB2.
He's a low end RB2.
Yeah.
Till Payne Barber comes around.
Gruden ain't there no more, man. Nobody likes Payne Barber but John Gruden.
Fair enough.
Must be a football guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're starting Waller. You're starting Josh Jacobs. I mean, until we know what this passing offense looks like now without Ruggs, though, I don't know if we can confidently start Brian Edwards. But I mean,
Let's start Renfro over Edwards.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Renfro is probably going to see the most uptick in value.
I don't trust Edwards still. He's got
not yet.
Yeah,
I think this might bump up.
Pass before the fourth.
This might bump up Renfro to like wide receiver 2 territory. I mean, he's been a solid wide receiver 3, but this could bump him up to wide receiver 2.
Yeah, he sees the volume, and losing Ruggs is just going to help that.
But we could probably jump over to our next game if you want.
Nope, we didn't talk about the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we did.
We did.
No, we did.
You literally started off with the Giants.
We talked about the injuries, man. We did talk about Daniel Jones.
That's a good point.
Why are you bouncing back and forth, you fool?
We've been talking about this the whole time. We started this way the whole time.
I know, but I'm saying if you start with the injuries on the Giants side, why not just jump into the Giants side first?
Oh, you goofball. Daniel Jones, guys. You're what are we doing with him?
I can't.
In ECR, he's borderline quarterback 1.
Super flex, that's it.
I mean, he's quarterback 13 this week, so he's a thought.
I mean, I just... He's not been good without his weapons. No Saquon. Not going to have Sterling Shepard. You're it's possible you're not even going to have Kenny Golladay. Dante Pettis just got put on the IR.
John Ross is also hurt. I didn't mention
You'll
that.
have Kadarius Toney for a half game, maybe.
For half a game, yep. But, I mean, I just can't trust it with Daniel Jones with all these weapons out.
I agree with you, man. I don't know why you're yelling at me.
But
what do you?
Because you want to talk about this shit team.
Well, yeah, that's our job. But Devontae Booker.
Yeah, he's fill-in.
You have to play him because of volume.
Myles Gaskin or Devontae Booker?
Devontae Booker.
That one's a tough one. I think I'm going to lean Myles Gaskin, but it's a close one. I like the matchup against Houston a little bit better than the Raiders defense.
Devontae Booker or Khalil Herbert in a tough matchup?
Devontae
Booker, yeah.
There's rumors rumors twirling around that David Montgomery might play Monday night, and best case scenario, it's a 50-50 split.
You heard it here first. 0 chance.
There is. He came off the IR, Matt Nagy. I don't know why. I mean, he should have been sitting until after the bye week. Let him get healthy.
Let him hang on.
You're probably starting Kadarius Toney if he's healthy enough to go. Does anyone want to start
mess
Evan
with?
Ingram?
You want to mess with Evan Ingram after the touchdown last week? No. I mean, no.
You ain't fucking with him?
Nope.
Mm-mm.
I don't fuck with you.
All right, next game, Los Angeles Chargers at the Philadelphia Eagles. Chargers got nothing of significance on the injury report, and neither does Philly. Talk about the Chargers offense first. They've been struggling a little bit lately. Herbert in this matchup. Philadelphia's pass defense is okay. Are you comfortable starting Herbert this week, Ike?
Start him every week.
LaPlante, you agree? Still,
yeah, you're starting him every week, but he's not. He was the king of the deep ball last year. That's what made him so tantalizing. He's not throwing it deep like he was last year. He's also not running the ball as much anymore. Mm-hmm. This offense with Brandon Staley seems to be more of the West Coast, not really taking deep threats unless Mike Williams is wide open.
Mike Williams is also kind of banged up, so that might be one of the main reasons why he hasn't been able to throw it deep lately. Or maybe they took Mike Williams out of the game, like you said last week, LaPlante.
Keenan Allen had one of his best weeks.
Yes, he did, which I'm glad he did.
Yeah, who called that one?
Ike, you want to know what else he called?
What else did I call? Goddamn, call me at it.
I said Ike, not Mike.
Oh yeah. Let's talk about Ike's garbage.
Hold on. Let's finish with the Chargers offense. You're starting Eckler.
You unfortunately have to start Mike Williams, even though
I was gonna ask.
He has the ceiling. We've seen it. He can any given week he can have 200 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Okay. And then Jared Cook, I know every week he's a borderline tight end one. You guys feel the same?
I just yes and no. I think there's better options. Honestly, I mean, I'd probably go Conklin over Jared Cook this week.
I agree.
Yeah, I'd definitely go Dan Arnold and Pat Freiermuth over him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about Pat Freiermuth because the Bears don't allow much points to the tight end. You know this, Dylan.
Sure.
But
I wrote about it. Yep. But
nobody wanted to, call out my typo on Los Angeles, huh?
Nope.
I didn't even see it.
Too bad. I changed it.
Jumping over to Philly, though. Quarterbacks Jalen Hurts. Ike, let me ask you, what is the garbage time king with no garbage time?
I mean, he still played good at least.
I mean, if you take the word garbage time out of it, it's still king.
Just not fantasy-wise. For once, it was flipped.
I was going to say,
flipped.
Yeah, that's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you for fantasy purposes.
All I needed was him to rush one of those in at least, but no, he gave 2 to Boston Scott and 2 to fucking Jordan Howard.
Yeah, the thing that's been nice with Jalen Hurts. Well, the thing that's been nice with Jalen Hurts is the defense has been bad, and they've been literally fighting and clawing back to be back in games, and that's what gives Jalen Hurts that value. But when you play a team like the Lions,
that was only my exact point last week.
No, I'm not disagreeing with that. Ike's the one over there that should be licking his chops.
Look at his wounds, you mean?
Look at his wounds.
Because he had a big chance to be a good quarterback. He just didn't run it in at all. They gave it to Boston Scott.
He threw it 14 times. He had 9 completions.
How many times? That's fine. He ran it for 70 yards. He ran for 70 yards. All he had to do is get in the end zone twice or even once. It's not that hard.
He's just not going to be good unless they're losing, man. That's just.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's going to happen a lot, but.
Yeah, I mean, so in the matchups where they're going to be losing, like this game, Jalen Hurts has value.
Yeah, he should be back. He should be back to top 8 quarterback.
And like we were talking about, I think Boston Scott is a solid RB2 play just this week because the Chargers are not good at stopping the run. They just have such a great pass defense that I guess they're just allowing people to run on them.
We like Scott over Gainwell the rest of the season moving forward with Miles Sanders.
I don't know about the
being
rest
out.
of the season.
Well, with
but
Miles
at least
Sanders
Miles
down,
is back. Yeah.
Yeah, with Miles down, you trust Scott over Gainwell?
I don't trust either of them.
Yes and no. Like this is going to be more of the game script for a Gainwell game, but just the way they used Boston Scott last week has more confidence in Scott than Gainwell.
Like we were legit saying we could barely start Miles Sanders. Now we're saying that like Boston Scott is all of a sudden RB2. No chance he's better than Miles Sanders.
I think Scott is an RB2 this week because of the matchup, but not moving forward. It's matchup dependent. The Chargers are the worst against the run in football. I think he's obviously.
This is the best week you're going to have for him.
But he was.
But
last
why
week
wouldn't they
second down running back.
I don't know why they wouldn't use Gainwell now or even Jordan Howard. So I just don't see Boston Scott having.
I can't see Jordan
RB2.
Howard staying healthy for more than one game.
And I just can't see Boston Scott getting all the work.
But they've used Boston
RB2.
Scott in the past when Miles Sanders has been injured.
I just think they'll finally lose Kenneth Gainwell, I think.
Yeah, no, I'm not confident in Gainwell because 11 of his 12 carries came in the fourth quarter when they were crushing him by 30 points.
Mm-hmm. And the only pass catcher you're starting for Philadelphia is Dallas Goedert.
Confidently, yes.
I'm done with Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts just isn't good enough.
He's
not.
He misses them all the time.
Yeah,
yes, he's not good enough. I'm sorry.
Devontae Smith or Allen Robinson? Devontae Smith. So I mean, some people got to play Devontae Smith. So I mean,
you shouldn't even have Allen Robinson on your roster anymore. Is the problem?
Just wait, man.
For what? For what?
I don't know. You'll see. Maybe.
We'll save that for when it actually.
I mean, fuck. We're saying Boston Scott's an RB2. How come Allen Robinson can't be wide receiver 3?
Because the Chargers are top 5 in allowing the most fantasy points to running backs this year.
And we just saw Boston Scott score 2 touchdowns. And how many touchdowns does Allen Robinson have this year? Like
0.
No, 1. He caught one from
really?
Andy Dalton. Yeah.
Right
before Andy Dalton went down, he caught one.
But I mean, like you said, Goddard, Devontae Smith. I mean, you can start Jalen Hurts this one and be a little bit more confident that he's going to get that garbage time. But
Devonta Smith is still ranked higher than Hunter Renfrow in ECR right now. That seems absurd to me. I'm looking at half PPR, and that's ridiculous.
I think it's because Devontae Smith has more of an upside.
Upside of what? Jalen Hurts
catching a touchdown.
him?
Renfrow doesn't really catch touchdowns. He's just the PPR Wes Welker type.
Fuck that, man. But jumping to the next game, Green Bay Packers at Kansas City. I'm sure you guys heard Rodgers out with COVID. He's doing his thing. Jordan Love see it as for his career start. I'll let you guys answer first, and then I'll go on my little thing. What do you expect to see from this Packers offense? See if you take the words right out of my mouth, LaPlante.
I expect them to make this a game. I don't know if they're going to win. They're well coached right now, and I hate saying that, but they are. I mean, look what they did against Arizona last week without Devontae Adams, without Alan Lazard. I mean, they used the run game. So, I mean, I'm feeling that's might be the same case this week. They might try to use the run game to control the tempo, keep Mahomes off the field. The Kansas City defense is not very good, and especially Dan Sorensen. I mean, what they say, it only takes a week to show you where Dan Sorensen's going to be in the defense, because I mean he's allowing just an astronomical rate of deep catches on him.
Mm-hmm. You took the words right out of my mouth, like I thought you were going to. The Packers are going to pound that rock. LaFleur is totally okay with just going in there and running the ball down your throat.
Yeah, they're a good running team, surprisingly.
Yeah.
When was the last time you could say that about the Packers?
Yeah.
Past few years they've had Aaron Jones.
That run scheme's good, man, and that's why I like A.J. Dillon this week as well, and he could be a borderline running back too.
Yeah, he's got good upside this week against the Chiefs. I mean,
like you can see another game where Aaron Jones sees 15 to 17 touches and A.J. Dillon gets 12 carries.
It wouldn't surprise me if this week was kind of like last week for the Eagles, where Aaron Jones gets 2 touchdowns, A.J. Dillon gets 2 touchdowns. I can absolutely see that being in the outcomes in this game.
The Packers want to win this game. They kind of need to have the same game plan the Bears have with Fields, with Jordan Love, to where they just grind it on the ground.
Absolutely.
But we like Aaron Jones. We like Dillon, like we just said. Devontae Adams, starting him, obviously, temper expectations a little bit, but I don't think anyone else in this offense is start worthy, correct?
Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams. That's it.
Okay.
Although I will say this, I am starting Jordan Love in Scott Fishbowl this week just because I'm forced to.
So am I.
And Marcellus Lewis, man.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
Very nice.
So let's talk about the Chiefs, yeah.
Jordan Love or Pat Mahomes? I'm just kidding.
Come on now.
I'm kidding. But in all honesty,
this could be the week where, the quarterback playing Mahomes might have more turnovers than Mahomes.
Maybe. Mahomes hasn't been
but it's
to me either, guys.
It's been bouncing off the receiver's hands. Not all of these
or helmet.
Yeah, or helmet for that matter, McKinnon. It's not all his fault.
Was he looking a different direction when he threw those passes or no?
I wouldn't doubt it.
That's the funny. Like, why you got to be cute all the time about it, Pat? Yeah,
they were saying that he gets bored. He gets bored and he wants to do something cool. Like he has to learn to keep.
He's got to learn to move.
Just
the chains.
keep it simple.
Just move the chains. Like I know it's boring, but you got to be a Tom Brady at some times.
Yeah, throw it to your running back who's open. Throw it to McCole Hardman, who's doing a short route instead of sending it 50 yards to Tyreek.
Yeah, if you want to be an efficient offense, you need to get first downs. And these guys and Chiefs are not great at getting first downs this year.
Nope.
They have no running game.
I mean, they kind of showed it last week against
Gore.
It looks like they're trying to
Frank Gore's son, man.
That's not Frank Gore's son.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Frank Gore's son, I'm pretty sure, is Frank Gore Jr.
I don't think that's his son. Maybe it's a distant cousin.
Unlikely.
But I mean, you're starting.
He could run like Frank Gore, though.
Yeah, you're starting Tyreek Hill. You're starting Travis Kelce. I know Derek Gore ate into a little bit of Darrell Williams' volume, but I think we can still count on Darrell Williams to be the main guy in this offense.
Sure.
Dylan, what you looking at?
Because I'm looking at it is Frank Gore's son, man.
Is it really?
Yes. I'm like, you're making me look like an asshole, but I wasn't lying. Franklin Gore Sr. is an American football running back who's a free agent. That's Derek Gore's father. He just got called me a liar on my stream.
Derek Gore?
Derek Gore, man. Get a clue.
How about that?
How about that?
But where were we, Mike? Lead this now.
We're just starting Travis Kelce. We're just starting Tyreek Hill. We're starting Mahomes. We're starting Darrell Williams. Don't chase the points from Frank Gore's son this past week. But other than that, we could probably move on to our next game. We got the Arizona Cardinals at the San Francisco 49ers. Kyler Murray's questionable, didn't practice all week. He is expected to play. Just don't expect the high ceiling this week.
Oh, he ain't going to be able to fucking run.
No. I mean, it's not like he's been running very much as it is this year. But he's also going to have Hopkins probably out. Like, we hope Christian Kirk can fill in this role. But, I mean, A.J. Green's out.
I know. And hopefully Kirk stays in the slot too, because that's where he does his best work.
This might be like a Chase Edmonds game. I could see it being a big Chase Edmonds game.
I could maybe see that.
Manufacturing some touches for him, possibly maybe Rondell Moore.
But if there's any time to bust out the Swiss Army knife of Rondell Moore, it'd be this game when you got Green and you got Johnny Hopkins out.
Mm-hmm.
So
like we said, talked about Zach Ertz too. You could probably start Zach Ertz this week as well.
Yeah, you really can.
Out. I think you could start Kirk. We're hoping he can have one of these 2 touchdown weeks like he showed before in the past.
Oh yeah, if you have Kirk on your roster and Hopkins and Green are out, Kirk is a must play.
I'm surprised he wasn't in your start article this week just because of that.
Yeah, he probably should have been.
But yeah, Chase Edmonds. I'm not a big fan of James Conner this week. I know he's been getting the touchdowns, and that's what we like to see, but he's not getting the volume. He's not getting the passing work. That's Chase Edmonds.
Mm-hmm. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I don't know who I'd rather start, to be honest. Like, who would you rather start, Connor or Edmonds in this matchup?
Edmonds.
That's something I feel too. It's really tough. I think I lean Connor still.
Really?
I'd probably go Chase Edmonds.
Okay. Jumping over to San Francisco now. You're not starting Garoppolo. Eli Mitchell found his self on the injury report with ribs, and Debo's also on the injury report with a calf. They're both questionable. Should be okay. You're starting both those guys.
Debo might not. You definitely
if he's healthy, you're playing him
for sure. You're gonna have
if
to
he's
watch
healthy,
out
you're
for
playing
sure.
him
Because they're saying his calf was bad after Chicago.
They activated. Come on, Dylan.
George
Kittle off of IR. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're starting him. You're starting George Kittle. I want to ask you, if Debo's out, are we going to see Ayuk now? Is he going to bust out?
Yeah, Ayuk season.
I mean, to be honest with you, Ayuk has been trending up.
So.
He's been trending up. I think even if Debo plays, I think Ayuk is a solid play this week.
Okay. Jumping into, we got 2 games left, guys. Let's try to run through these pretty quick. Sunday Night Football, Tennessee at the Los Angeles Rams. Ike, I'm happy you put Henry on the injury report here. He's out. It's not an ankle; it's a foot injury, though.
So Michael Thomas, everybody knows about, but Derrick Henry knows. Nobody knows
Michael Thomas has been out for the past 8 weeks. You motherfucker, deal with it. Derrick Henry just got hurt. All right.
all right. AJ Brown knee is questionable, and Julio Jones is also still battling that hamstring injury, but it sounds like he should be good. It's a battle. Rams, they have Woods on the injury report with a foot injury, but he's
most likely going to play. Yep.
What do we expect to see from this Tennessee offense?
I mean, from what I'm hearing from Vrabel, they expect to run this the same way.
I'm sure. Yeah, because 36-year-old Adrian Peterson's Derrick Henry. What does he think Does he think we're all stupid? Like they obviously can't.
They're gonna still try and run.
I don't care, Mike LaPlante. They're not running the same offense with Derrick Henry as
they're gonna try
with Adrian Peterson. That's so silly. They're gonna kill the old man.
No, that's the thing, is they're going to use Jeremy McNichols a little bit more. They did not have to use McNichols when Henry was there. He was getting all the rushing attempts, and McNichols was just getting the receiving work because that's all that's left in that offense with Henry there. Mm-hmm. But now that he's not there, they're not going to give Adrian Peterson a 29-carry workload.
God, I hope so, man. I really do.
He might get carry.
I want to see it.
I think the most he'll get is 20.
Honestly, tell me you don't want to see it, though.
It's Adrian Peterson's going to have the touchdown upside. McNichols is going to have the PPR value, and this is a game where Tennessee is going to be playing from behind.
29 for 200, bro. Why not?
So I think McNichols is the play this week. I mean, like you said, we don't know what Adrian Peterson has still in the tank.
29 for 200.
Shut up.
Yeah, he can go join Odell on whatever team he is.
Fuck off.
yeah, maybe Odell will join the Titans. Like, there you go.
There you
Why
go.
not? Have him play running back.
But I mean, you're starting AJ Brown. If Julio is healthy, you're not going to be happy about it because he might pull the hammy again and get stuck out of the game. But you got to play him.
Yep. Jumping to the Rams, Stafford. He's quarterback 1 every week.
He did show up
Not
on the
the
injury report,
quarterback
I'm pretty
one,
sure I
but he
saw
is a
today or
quarterback
yesterday, right?
Yes, he had a sore back.
Yeah, he'll be fine though.
You're starting Darrell Henderson. You're not starting Sony Michel.
Darn.
No, but Sony Michel, put on your benches, guys. I mean, he is a good handcuff to have for Darrell Henderson. We've seen what Darrell Henderson's been doing. The running back is a full incorporation in this offense with Sean McVay. So if the running back gets injured, it's going to be Sony Michel popping right in there. That's all I'm going to say.
Cooper Kupp is the wide receiver 1.
He's on pace to break every single freaking record this year.
Robert Woods, you're playing him if he's good. If that foot is good, I should
no,
say.
you're playing.
If he's good, you'll play him. Yeah.
You're playing Robert Woods. I think.
Are we getting in the van?
Yes, we are all getting in the van.
We're in the van.
It's
All
a
right.
big van.
Yeah,
Man.
I mean, we'll
Get in the van.
every time Deshaun Jackson was killing it for the Rams, it was at Van Jefferson's expense. Now that Deshaun is off the team, Van Jefferson is the deep threat.
See you,
Tutu
Deshaun.
Atwell's not even there anymore. I mean, Tutu Atwell's injured. He's not going to be playing anymore. I mean,
Tutu.
I like Van Jefferson down the stretch. It's hard to trust wide receiver 3s in an offense, but like we've seen, Matthew Stafford's killing it. It seems like he can support 3 receivers because he's damn near not supporting Tyler Higbee.
Yeah, Higbee, we don't want him.
No, we do
we
not
don't
want
want
him.
We don't
It's
want
because Cooper Kupp's taking every damn thing.
It's great. It's glorious. Glorious.
But yeah,
Have you seen some of his routes, man? Making defenders look stupid.
Yeah, he's having a career, if not historical year.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Monday Night Football, guys. Chicago at Pittsburgh. What a gross Monday night game. Darnell Mooney, questionable with a groin. Feel like he's on the injury report every week. For Pittsburgh, Eric Enron is questionable with a hamstring injury.
I almost spit out Eric Eron, right?
I didn't want to change it, man.
Let's talk about the Bears first.
Our friend Dylan, our friend. This guy won a spelling bee back in high
Fuck
school,
yeah, man.
but he can't spell Ebron.
I got too lazy.
We finally saw the Justin Fields breakout last week, scored 25 fantasy points.
It's not happening this week against the Steelers. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think we have a better chance of seeing the Justin Fields from the Tampa or Cleveland game in this game.
Never say never, though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Justin Fields gets injured the way this.
Whoa.
I'm not saying it's.
Take
I'm
it
not
easy,
saying
man.
that he's
Just
going
because your
to.
quarterback is an asshole and got COVID.
He's not an asshole. He had a Halloween party. Give him a
Don't
break.
put that juju on.
He's John
somehow,
Wick.
man.
But no,
You're not starting anyone in the Bears offense besides Khalil Herbert. And it's not even a great matchup for him.
I think you can start Herbert. That's it. And it's not going to be a good matchup. It's going to be strictly volume. That's it. Damian Williams is injured, so he might not be. I mean, it's Khalil Herbert, and that's pretty much the only one I'd like to start.
Pittsburgh, Big Ben, we don't want him.
No, you're not. You're not starting Big Ben anywhere.
Najee Harris, we want him.
Yes, we want him all night long.
Deontay Harris, Deontay Johnson, and Chase Claypool. Both starts. Claypool, wide receiver 3. Deontay, high-end wide receiver 2.
Claypool's a borderline wide receiver 3.
He has been borderline the past couple
Please
weeks.
stop hating on him, Mike.
It's not hate. It's not hate. Like last week, he only got 5 targets. Deontay Johnson is the guy in this offense.
That's why I keep saying.
And Patty Fries.
It's him and Najee Harris, man.
And it's Najee, too.
And the move.
I'm sorry. Claypool's role is going deep. Big Ben does not throw the ball past 20 yards. It's Najee or Harris running a slant.
You guys still don't like Patty Fries a whole lot with Enron still out?
I hate you so much.
Not with
Enron.
Not with the Bears defense. They don't allow very many points to the tight end. You're hoping for a touchdown. That's all this week. He's not going to have a big 80-yard game.
The move, man.
I'm still okay starting him. I'm still torn on if I want to start him or the Dan band. I don't know what I want to do. Any help here?
I'll be honest with you. It's like taking shit and throwing it at the wall and see which one sticks. You could do either one.
Right on. But I think we could pretty much close it out, LaPlante. We don't have any questions.
No, surprisingly not. We did have your niece Hannah did say hello, so that was
Hi,
nice.
Hannah. Hi, Hanny.
I don't know if she's still here anymore, so that was funny to watch.
But yeah, guys, I think that pretty much wraps it up. You can follow me on Twitter at dclemens2222. Follow my Start Sit article at fantasy6pack.net. Ike writes the fantasy impact article, the injury impact article.
He writes that, but
well.
won't write the injuries.
Oh my God! What do you think I did today?
I don't know. Who's Eric Eron?
He's a new player. Enron.
You can follow Ike at Ike2121 on Twitter. And then Michael Plant, he doesn't write anymore. He
hangs out. He does
hangs out.
Instead, I produce cool shit for the Fantasy Six Pack Hour podcast. And
when's the last time you did a poll for the site, huh?
When was the last time? I did a poll for what people were trying to do in replace for Derrick Henry. So you can suck it.
Give us.
I did say that.
Give us your Twitter handle since you yell at me every time I say it.
It's right below me, right there. It's be like one word _ Mike with 2 eyes.
Below me. But yeah, let's wrap it up. I think everyone's done.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Okay.
All right, guys. Good luck in your matchups this week, except for Michael Plant since he's played me.
I'm not going to win. I've already got my hopes.
I hope you guys both
down.
Do terrible.
Let's go, Mike Williams.
We'll be back next Friday to talk to you then. Bye, guys.
Peace out.
See ya.